Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take your sources, dig through them, and really pull out those nuggets of knowledge, those insights that give you a shortcut to being properly informed. Today, we're diving into something huge: learning English, challenges and success stories. Our mission for you today: to get the most practical, sometimes surprising takeaways from the material you shared. We want to help you not just, get by, but really master this whole English language journey.
It really is a journey, isn't it? And it's packed with, well, challenges, but also amazing rewards. Understanding why the challenges pop up, not just what they are, and how to genuinely tackle them. That's got so much practical value for anyone wanting to connect, really connect with the world.
Absolutely. So let's start there. The sheer scale of English in today's world. We call it a global language, sure, but what does that actually mean for you? Like right now, beyond the obvious stuff, why is it so indispensable?
Well, if you really look at the global picture, it's kind of amazing how English isn't just a language anymore. It's become the main way people communicate in so many specific areas. Think about science. Something like, 98% of scientific papers, they're published in English. That makes it essential for researchers everywhere. And tech, same story. Coding languages, online forums where developers hang out. It's mostly English. Plus, higher education, especially if you're looking at grad school or specialized fields, English proficiency, almost always a must. Not just for lectures, but for reading the latest research, joining discussions.
That's a really strong point about those specialized fields. It's not just a general nice to have skill anymore. It's literally the key for certain careers, certain studies. And I've found just personally, and I bet a lot of you listening can relate, English isn't just a school subject you tick off a list, it's a living tool. It directly shapes how well you can engage, how much you can learn, how you build bridges, really. It lets you step up from just watching the world to actually joining the conversation.
Exactly. And, that reminds me of a trip I took to Thailand. I landed knowing absolutely zero Thai. Honestly, it felt a bit intimidating at first. But right from the get-go, English was my lifeline. At the airport, getting through customs, trying to order food in little local places, even just asking directions, English wasn't just helpful, it was crucial.
Mhm.
Let me navigate, connect with people, share a laugh. It showed me how vital it is day to day, even way outside English-speaking places.
Oh, that's such a great example of it just working in the real world. My own experience was different, but it hits that same note of like empowerment. When I first started making online content, most of the people I wanted to reach spoke English. Making videos in English, that felt like a massive hurdle. So many ways to mess up. But I just kept at it, practicing, recording, doing it over again, pushing past feeling awkward. And my fluency really did improve. English basically just erased the map borders for me, connected me with way more people from way more places than I ever thought possible. It wasn't just reach, it was the confidence, knowing I could get my ideas across.
And confidence, that word keeps coming up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It seems to be the biggest block for so many people. Learners might know the grammar, have decent vocabulary, but then they freeze up when it's time to actually speak. Why is that? Why is that fear, that psychological barrier, so strong?
Yeah, that fear of speaking, that hesitation. I think pretty much everyone who's learned a language knows that feeling. So it makes total sense that confidence, or maybe the lack of it, is a core problem. But looking at the sources, what are the main sort of language specific hurdles people run into?
Okay, so boiling down to what learners report and what linguistic studies show, three big challenge areas keep popping up. First, as you might expect, pronunciation and phonology. English is famous for being tricky here, right? Words often aren't spoken the way they're spelled. People struggle with specific sounds, the dud, for example, or all the different vowel sounds, especially that little sound, the schwa, that sneaks in everywhere. But it's also things like connected speech, how words just naturally blend together when people talk fast. Makes it sound totally different from reading words one by one. And then there's intonation, word stress.
Mm-hmm.
Those can actually change the meaning sometimes. Super tricky to get right.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely feel that. English pronunciation sometimes feels like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded.
Right. Okay, so the second big hurdle, grammar and idiomatic expressions. Now, English grammar might seem simpler in some ways, like fewer noun endings than some languages, but it throws curveballs elsewhere. Phrasal verbs, for instance. Think look up, look into, look out for. Totally different meanings and very idiomatic. You just have to learn them. And articles, a, n, the. So many learners find these tough because their own language might not use them or uses them differently. Then you've got the finer points of modal verbs like could, should, might, or conditional sentences. It gets complex. And third, circling back to what we just talked about, confidence. Often it comes down to that deep fear of being judged, of making mistakes. Psychologists sometimes talk about the affective filter, basically. Emotional walls that stop you from properly absorbing or using the language, even if you technically know it.
That affective filter idea really hits home. It shows it's not always just about knowing the rules, it's about how you feel. And that fear of mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
it's so real. I mean, when I was learning, wow, did I stumble? I still remember trying to say, I am going to the market. And in my rush, out came, I am go to market. Clear as day. Everyone around had a bit of a laugh, but honestly, instead of wanting the ground to swallow me up, I kind of used it. Their laughter wasn't mean, it was just lighthearted. And it became this funny little flag in my brain that helped me remember the right way next time. It showed me those little mess ups are just signposts.
That is a perfect example of having a growth mindset about it. And, from a teaching perspective, mistakes aren't just part of it. They're actually vital feedback. If you never risk making a mistake, you're probably playing it too safe. You're not really pushing yourself or engaging fully with the language. Mistakes show you're learning, and they pinpoint exactly what needs work.
Yeah, I always tell learners your mistakes are your most patient teachers. Every single one is a personalized lesson, right? A chance to adjust, refine, an opportunity, really, not a failure.
Exactly. And the good news is there are some really effective and often actually fun ways to practice daily and turn those mistakes into learning moments. For instance, something I found really helpful was watching English movies, but starting with subtitles on. It wasn't just passive watching, though. I'd actively listen for phrases, maybe pause and try to mimic the intonation, rewind to catch how words link together, and slowly, what started as catching just a few words here and there, it turned into understanding more and more. My brain started grouping sentences, spotting patterns. Eventually, I could watch without relying so much on subtitles. My listening really took off.
Oh, that's a great tip for active listening. I did something similar, but with short English podcasts. Made it a strict part of my morning routine, listening while having tea. It was tough at first, felt like trying to crack a code sometimes, but by really listening, not just hearing, focusing on the rhythm, the sounds, I definitely noticed a change. My brain started to kind of anticipate things, new words started making sense just from the context.
And this points to something really fundamental that comes up again and again in language learning research.
Hmm.
Consistency is absolutely the key. It's not about cramming for hours once a week. It's the power of doing small bits regularly. Even just 10 or 15 focused minutes every day adds up way more than occasional long sessions. It's like building a habit, right? Those small regular actions build strong pathways in your brain.
That's so much more manageable, isn't it? Makes it feel less daunting. And building on that, another thing that works really well, but people sometimes overlook, is practicing with peers. There's this idea that you have to find a native speaker, otherwise it doesn't count. but that's just not true. Two learners or a small group, you can create this amazing low stress space. You can try things out, point out each other's common errors, build confidence together without feeling like you're performing for a native speaker.
Totally agree. I remember practicing with a friend. We'd do it every evening, just simple stuff, pretending to order food, introducing ourselves, talking about our day. Yeah, it felt a bit weird at first, definitely. We laughed at ourselves, corrected each other constantly. But because we did it regularly in that safe space, it started feeling totally natural. We kind of learned each other's weak spots and cheered each other on. Felt more like just chatting than studying, which is way more motivating.
Those are really practical examples. Okay, so for you listening, let's try and boil this down into, say, 5 really actionable tips you could start using, like today.
Let's do it. Okay, tip one, embrace daily active immersion. Don't just let English wash over you. Actively listen. This could mean things like shadowing,
Hmm.
repeating what you hear almost simultaneously, trying to copy the rhythm and intonation, or chunking, pausing, breaking down sentences into meaningful bits. Active stuff really trains your ear and brain.
Good one. Okay, tip 2, cultivate consistent, active speaking. Don't wait for the perfect chance or partner. Talk out loud, even alone. Describe what you're doing. I am making coffee. I am tidying my desk. You could even try talking to yourself in the mirror. Practice facial expressions, get your mouth used to the shapes. It just builds confidence by making speaking English feel normal.
Tip three, strategize your vocabulary building. Go beyond just making lists. Get a notebook, yes, but when you learn a new word, don't just write the meaning. Try to make, say, 3 different sentences using it in different ways, or use those spaced repetition apps that use science to show you words right when you might forget them. Much better for long-term memory than just staring at a list.
Smart. Tip 4, prioritize communication over grammatical perfection. Seriously, especially early on. Don't let fear of messing up a verb tense or an article stop you from talking. The main goal is just to get your point across. The more you speak, the more the natural flow and patterns of English will sink in. Grammar sorts itself out over time with practice and exposure. Just get comfortable being a bit messy at first.
And finally, tip 5, find the joy in it. Please don't make it feel like homework. Connect English learning to things you already love.
Hmm.
If you love games, join English-speaking gaming groups. Watch reviews in English. If you're into cooking, watch chefs on YouTube. Read recipes in English. When it links to your passions, the motivation comes naturally, you engage more, and progress just happens faster.
That last one feels so important. Turning it from a chore into an adventure, that's got to be key for sticking with it long term.
Absolutely. Finding the enjoyment really is crucial for commitment. And tied to that, something really important to remember is everyone learns at their own speed. It's so easy to look at someone else and think, wow, they're learning so fast, and then feel bad about your own pace. But your journey is yours alone. It depends on your first language, how you learn best, what else is going on in your life. Don't compare, just focus on your own steady progress. Celebrate the small wins.
That's such a kind and necessary reminder. Helps quiet down that inner critic, doesn't it? So, looking beyond the tips, what was your personal driver? What kept you going when things got frustrating or you felt stuck?
For me, it was this really vivid dream of studying abroad. Whenever I felt like giving up or just tired, I'd mentally reconnect with that goal, picturing myself living in a new place, learning from different people. That vision just gave me this deep internal push. It was my why, providing the energy to keep going.
That's a powerful why. Mine was different, but similar in intensity, I think. It was this really strong desire to connect with people from totally different walks of life. I just love understanding other cultures, hearing different perspectives, really building that connection. And English, it was literally the key that opened those doors. It let me have conversations, build friendships I couldn't have otherwise. It's about bridging gaps, finding that common ground.
And ultimately, I think what both our stories show and what all the insights point to is that English really does act as this incredible connector.
Mm.
It links people, cultures, ideas across the planet in ways that are still kind of amazing.
That's a fantastic thought to start wrapping up with. We've covered a lot today, haven't we? From why English is so vital for your life to breaking down those common hurdles, the language ones, the mental ones, and then offering that toolkit, those 5 practical tips. Remember, it's about embracing mistakes, being consistent, finding joy in it, and holding on to your why. Exactly. We really hope this deep dive has left you feeling not just informed, but genuinely motivated to keep going on your English journey, whatever you are with it. Keep practicing, keep trying new things. Every little step counts.
And as you think about all this, here's something provocative for you to chew on. How can you consciously reframe mistakes in your own English learning? Instead of seeing them as failures or roadblocks, how can you truly see them as personalized stepping stones, guiding you not just towards better English, but towards being a more confident global communicator? That's it for today's deep dives. We'll catch you next time.